All right, guys, so remember you're not taking notes on a separate sheet of paper. You're taking these notes on your learning targets. These notes will cover questions 17, 18, and 19 on your learning targets. And while you're back there, go ahead and cross off question 20. Don't tell the other classes, but I took that question off the test. All right, so how does media attention affect a political campaign? Well, we're going to answer that question with a little story. Once upon a time, there were two men by the name of John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. They were both running for president. John F. Kennedy was running for the Democratic Party, and Nixon was running under the Republican Party. Now, as people do with all elections, they had their opinions about these two candidates. People kind of viewed John F. Kennedy as too young to become president. He was only 43. How could he possibly run a country at that age? They also thought Kennedy needs more experience to be president. He won't know what he's doing if he's elected president. Nixon, on the other hand, they liked the fact that he was older. They liked the fact that he had experience as vice president, because that would be really good experience to become a president. Now, this was during a time when television was becoming widely popular. And they came up with the idea of televising these presidential debates. Maybe then people would actually pay attention to them. So this was the very first televised presidential debate, and it was a big deal. A lot of people tuned in, and when they tuned in, they saw John F. Kennedy seeming really knowledgeable, a really strong candidate, and Richard Nixon, who was allegedly giving over a cold at the time, just didn't look quite as good. He didn't look quite as knowledgeable or as confident, and he was kind of like sweaty, clammy, probably nervous about being on TV. So how does media affect a political campaign? The answers are going to be bolded and underlined. Many historians debate whether or not this presidential debate cost Nixon the election, but the one thing they can agree on is that media affects politics by informing people about the issues, the candidates, and of election dates. When we talk about media, yes, we're talking about those televised debates, we're talking about TV ads, we're talking about social media posts, we're talking about flyers that are in your mailbox, we're even talking about billboards, even down to the very, very smallest of things, that little video that you skip over on your YouTube video when you're trying to watch videos of cute kittens or something. So when we're talking about media, we're talking about all those different things. Dang you, television, says Richard Nixon. If you need more time to write this down, go ahead and put the video on pause. Push play when you're ready. All right, so what are PACs and super PACs? So I did record a video and it was almost perfect, and I went ahead and played this video within the video so that way you wouldn't have to click on a separate video, and then YouTube said, sorry, you can't do that. So dang you, YouTube. Dang you, YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and put this on a separate link. Go ahead and watch this video. It's a really good video introducing what PACs and super PACs are. So question 18, what is a PAC? What is the purpose of a PAC? PAC is a political action committee, and it's an organization that raises money and finances candidates privately to influence elections or legislation. Most of the time, people kind of focus on the absurd amounts of money, like billions of dollars, raised to fund different candidates. The reason why these were created was to circumvent or to go around the rules on individual donations to candidates. Candidates have really, really strict rules on how much money they can accept from individuals, from groups, from businesses, from corporations, how much they can spend on certain things, blah, 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 blah. Super PACs, on the other hand, so political action committees, used to not really have any rules. Then they made some rules for political action committees. Super PACs have almost no rules for how much money they raise, who donates and how much. In order to circumvent or to go around those rules, PACs are really, really sneaky and they seem very untrustworthy. So that candidate can't spend X amount of dollars, right? They have a limitation on how much they can accept and spend. Those super PACs, they don't donate the money that they raise to the candidate. They spend the money that they raise on the candidate's behalf. So you might notice when you watch some of those ads on TV, those political ads, at the end it says, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message, or I'm Joe Biden and I approve this message. If Joe Biden or Donald Trump aren't approving that message, it's probably coming from a super PAC. They are the ones who funded that commercial. If you need more time to write this down, go ahead and put the video on pause, push play when you're ready. All right, so this brings us to campaign spending issues. So if you take a look at this graph, this tells us how much in millions people are spending on their official campaigns. And then this like grayish area is how much is funded by super PACs. So if we look down here, it's mainly official campaign spending. And it's going up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then it just skyrockets over here. And you can kind of see that there is way more PAC spending or super PAC spending as the years go on. So this will help you with question 19. Spending on campaigns have increased drastically over time. Political action committees and super PACs have a lot to do with this. And this makes people worried that candidates will be more dedicated to large donors rather than doing what's best for the American people. So this political cartoon does a really good job illustrating that worry, where people are concerned that these candidates are in the palm of the hands of the super PACs, the ones who are funding their campaign, that's making them successful, that's helping them get into office. So they're worried that these candidates will do whatever it takes to keep these super PACs giving them money rather than doing whatever it takes for the good of the American people. One example of this would be one of the larger PACs in the United States, the National Association of Realtors, which doesn't sound that scary, but some people blame them partially for the market crash in 2008. That big recession, we won't get into it, it's really complicated, but that recession had a lot to do with the housing industry, and the National Association of Realtors kind of influenced some legislation that may or may not have caused that to happen. If you need more time to write this down, put the video on pause, push play when you're ready. All right, remember to cross off number 20. We're skipping that question on the test. You're going to use this time to fill out the rest of your learning targets. You're going to use your notes and or a partner to complete the learning targets. Remember, these learning targets are going to be your study guide to the test. If you're stuck on a question, click the Where to Find the Answers document. In that document, it's going to tell you which set of notes to look in order to find the answers to that question. If you finish early, remember there's only 9 more days left of the term. That's including weekends and days off. Check your email. I sent an email to each and every one of you if you're missing any work in my class. If you got an email, that means you're missing something. You should probably work on it. Otherwise, you can work on homework in other classes to make sure your grades are exactly where you want them to be at the end of the term. Tomorrow, I'm going to post a video going over the answers to the learning targets and hints to do well and like which questions will be short answer questions. So make sure you check for that on your distance learning day. Good luck, guys.